Recently, I had a first-time home buyer reach out to me from this YouTube channel. I sent over the information to a really solid lender in our area, and after talking to the lender, these really sweet first-time buyers found out they just weren't going to be able to qualify for a home quite yet. Today, I wanted to share some tips and advice for things that you can do now to help you buy a home sooner rather than later, things that you can do to help you save for a home while you're still renting. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Mariah. I am a real estate agent here in the beautiful state of Oregon. My husband Spencer and I run a top producing husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon. And we get calls, texts, and emails from people like you that are watching our YouTube videos on this channel that are either thinking about relocating to Oregon or that already live here and want to buy and sell real estate here. If that's you, we love to work with you. Feel free to shoot me an email. I will put my information in the description below. Reach out anytime. We cover Salem, Oregon, and all of the surrounding areas. Quite a large area that we service. Okay, the first thing that you can do to save while renting so that you can buy a house sooner, we have seen so many home buyers do this. Many buyers we've worked with over the years is moving into a smaller place temporarily, or if possible, move in with a family member if you're able to save. Now, I know not everybody is in a position where they're able to do that, and I know that's not always ideal, even if you can do that, but I can say we have seen so many home buyers who were fortunate enough to be able to move in with a family member for a short period of time, or to be able to like temporarily downsize somewhere that was smaller than where they were already at for a short period of time. We've seen so many of our home buyers cut that time really by a lot. So many of the home buyers that we've worked with that have gone that route, it would have taken them a year or two longer to save enough money to be able to buy a house, but they were able to really cut that time down much shorter because of that sacrifice they made. And again, I know not everyone is fortunate enough to be able to do that, but if you are in a position where you can make the sacrifice to just live with a family member for a much cheaper rent, or downsize to somewhere that's really small, even if you don't want to, just temporarily, it can really help you get into home ownership sooner rather than later. The second thing that you can do is find a roommate. This can cut your rent down drastically and cause you to be able to buy a house a lot sooner because you're able to save so much more. I know when my husband and I were very first married, we actually had our 2 spare bedrooms in our house, both rented out on Airbnb, and this enabled us to be able to buy a house so much sooner than we would have been otherwise. The next few things you can do to save to buy a house sooner rather than later: work on paying off that debt, especially high interest debt, and opening up a high yield savings account. My next piece of advice is apply for first time home buyer assistance programs. I have had so many instances over the years that I've been a real estate professional where I speak with a home buyer and they think there is no way I'm going to be able to qualify for a home loan. And then they talk to the lender that we send them to, and they are pleasantly surprised that they actually can buy right now. I think that a lot of first-time home buyers are unaware of the first-time home buyer programs that are available to them. So inquire about them, take advantage. They're there to help you if you qualify, and it is probably not too soon to talk to a lender. It is a really good idea to talk to a lender sooner rather than later, because they're going to give you some realistic things to be saving for. It's really hard to save if you don't actually have a number that you really need to be saving for a down payment. So they'll be able to tell you, these are the different loan program options. This is what you'll need down for each loan program, assuming you buy at this price. And they'll just give you all these estimated numbers that are really going to help you in saving, because I think at the end of the day, if you don't at least have like a ballpark number to be saving for, it's really difficult to be saving to buy a house, because you're kind of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, like, I'm saving money, but you don't really have that like specific goal in mind, if that makes sense. So talk to a lender sooner rather than later. If you want the phone number to a solid local lender, reach out to me and I can definitely send you the information to one. Next piece of advice kind of goes along with that, but there is something for first-time home buyers to take advantage of called a USDA loan. I won't get too into this, but basically you're able to, if you qualify for this loan, put $0 down when you buy a house. The house does have to be located outside of city limits. So if you're buying in our area, it can't be in Salem specifically, but there are so many really great rural towns that many of our relocation buyers choose to move to that are just on the outskirts of Salem, very, very short drive, some even like a 10, 15, 20-minute drive to Salem. And these towns are USDA eligible, meaning you can buy a house there putting $0 down. We've had many clients over the years moving to our area from places like Southern California for this very reason, because where they live, there's not a lot of rural areas like anywhere within a short driving distance, if that makes sense, to where they want to be. Here in Oregon, we're lucky that there are many USDA eligible towns. That's another thing to look into. Again, if you want a lender's information, let me know and I can pass that along to you. My last tip to save for a house sooner rather than later, this is how my husband and I have saved for every house we have purchased. This has been what has worked really well for us, is have a separate bank account at a bank that is not even like the bank that you usually bank at. Don't even have a debit card for this bank account, because it doesn't exist. It is not for emergencies. It is only for buying a house. Contribute to that account every single month, at least in some capacity. Even if all you can contribute to it is a really small amount, it still adds up. Having an account that you do not touch, it doesn't exist, and you are adding money to it no matter what every month, even if it's just a very small amount, just whatever it is that you're able to do to help build that momentum. And that is like your down payment fund for your first house, or your next house, or your next house, or your next house, whenever it comes about. Okay, those are my tips for today. If you grab value from this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video, hit the thumbs down button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, because we come on here consistently with new videos. If you are either considering relocating to Oregon, if you are just interested in learning more about buying or selling real estate in Oregon, or if you're curious about what neighborhoods look like here in Oregon, head over to my channel. I have a handful of playlists you might grab value from, and I'll see you guys next time.